Okay, so this video is going to be dedicated to solving this problem here. This is part 2 of the attractions and repulsions topic for charges. And so what we have is we have a total of 6 objects, well, technically 7 if we include the neutral object at the end, but we have 6 objects, A to F, and then we have a bunch of attractions, repulsions that are occurring, and then we want to look at the charges that these, we are given the charges of 2 of the objects out of the 7, and we have to find the charges of 5 of the objects, or the potential charges. So I just write out A to F, so A, B, C, D, E, and F, and I also include this last object, that's G. It's not labeled as G, but it's a neutral object, so I'm just going to label it as neutral. Again, this is right here, neutral object attracted to each other, F and a neutral object. Okay, so now what I do is I look at the interactions between the two. So A and B are going to attract, as we see over here. A and B attract, B and C repel, B and C repel. And I like to circle it just so it doesn't get confusing with all the letters, right? And then C and D attract. So C and D will attract. D and E will repel. So repel. E and F attract. And then F and G, F and a neutral object attract. And so this is attract. So this is like the mechanical work. Now is like the thinking, right? Thinking work. So A is positively charged. We are given this information here. Now, this attracts to B. Now, attraction can occur with opposite or neutral. So those are 2 options for B. But this is going to be not 2 options anymore because B repels to C with C. So it has to be negative. That it can't be neutral because neutrals don't repel. And so it can't be neutral. We can just put an X over it. With attraction, so C attracts to D, again, it can be positive or it can be neutral. Because positive, negative will attract, neutral, negative will attract. Now, that's not going to be any 2 in this case anymore because this repels. So plus or minus, but then it repels with E, so this has to be plus because the same signs will repel. And so this goes away. Okay, now attraction, so F can be negative or it can be neutral because opposites or neutral. But attraction, negative neutral will attract, but neutral will not attract. And so this is again out of the picture. So notice how we used our analysis here and we literally established quite nicely how everything's going to work. And we literally got the charges of everything with our work. So A and E, I'm just going to double check and draw lines. A and E will attract because they're opposites. A and B, sorry. B and C will repel. They are the same thing. C and D will attract. They are opposites. Plus and plus, D and E will repel. They are the same thing. Plus or same charge is what I meant when I say same thing, same sign, same charge. Plus or minus E and F. Plus and minus E and F will opposites, so attract. Minus and neutral will attract. And so if we wanted to write out the answers, this would be object A, object B, object C, object D, object E, and object F. Okay, so what's this going to be? Well, this object A, we don't need object A, but this is sure we can write it positive. Object B is negative. C is also negative. I'm just writing it from this chart. D is, so this diagram. D is positive. E is positive. F is negative. And if we wanted to include G, why not? That would be neutral. So we have only 1 neutral out of all of these here. So this is neutral. And these will be sufficient for our results from this experiment, I guess you could say. And this is important. This is everything. This is like how you do this, okay? You don't have to do it this way, but I really like this way, and I think this is a nice method, so you should look into doing it this way. You don't have to color code it and stuff. If you want to, you can, but make sure that you do the circling because it's not just to be fancy, it helps you. Try it without the circling and you'll see that you might struggle. So this is your answers, and I hope you found this series useful.